Okay, so I'm going to speak about mental health and well-being in relation to the journey of infertility. So we will cover how to identify when someone is struggling with their mental health and how to have a conversation about this with them. We'll also identify who to contact. So just go back one, Kate, back to the, yeah. We will also identify who to contact if concerns arise. And to finish with, I will discuss how to maintain good mental health. So what is mental health? It includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel and act, and it determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. We often think about mental health as illness or distress, but it's just like our physical health. We have it and we need to look after it. Good mental health boosts our physical health, creates resilience, as Francesca covered, and it helps us feel happy, confident, and secure. Everyone can enjoy good mental health and well-being. Mental health is influenced, of course, by genetics, childhood experiences, and life experiences. I would like to use the Māori model of health called Te Whare Tapawhā. I think this is a really good illustration of good mental health. So the model illustrates health and well-being in the form of a meeting house with 4 walls. Each of the walls represent our health, our wairua, spiritual health, our hinengaroa, which is our mental and emotional well-being, and our whānau, our social and family well-being, and whenua, that's our connection with the land. So when all of these things are in balance, we thrive. And when one of these are out of balance, our well-being is affected. If you can imagine a house where one of the walls is unbalanced, it makes for a fairly wonky house. So just on to the next slide, Kate. The relationship between mental well-being and infertility. So infertility is life-changing experience impacting all aspects of a person's well-being and therefore challenging for mental health and well-being. The experience is an emotional journey impacting our thoughts and our feelings. It often affects the relationships that people have with others. They may feel isolated in their experience and at times unable to connect with those who perhaps have children. The impact of fertility treatments is arduous on the body, can affect the relationship that a woman has with her own body. Infertility can lead to people wondering, why is this happening to me? A loss of faith or a questioning of what life is about. Everyone's experienced challenges and difficulties at some point in their life. And during these times, we do need to work much harder at maintaining good mental health. So, yeah, thanks, Kate. What are the signs that someone may not be okay? So life challenges like infertility can leave people feeling pretty hopeless, fearful, disconnected, and at times at a genuine risk. The Fertility New Zealand support groups are great ways for people to be connected and feel less alone in their experience and be supported through their journey. There may be times, however, when you're worried about someone attending your group where you think they're particularly distressed by their experience and they're not coping quite so well. This information has been borrowed from the Are You OK campaign in Australia. I think it provides quite good practical and simple prompts about how you might have a conversation with someone whom you're concerned about. So the signs that someone may not be okay. The following are some of the signs to look out for when you may be concerned about someone's mental health. When you're considering where they are, whether they're okay or not, it's important to think about what they're saying, what they're doing, but what's actually going on in their life. So what they're saying, so it's the next slide. They might seem confused or irrational, moody, unable to switch off, concerned about the future, worried that they're a burden. And often I will hear that from people, you know, I don't want to bother such and such, you know, because they've already got a lot on their plate. They might be saying that they're feeling lonely or lacking in self-esteem, feeling trapped or in pain. So what they are doing, the next slide, Kate. Experiencing mood swings, dismissive or defensive, becoming withdrawn, changing their online behaviour. So that might be using being online a lot, or it could be quite the opposite. Behaving recklessly, so that might be taking pretty big risks or drinking a lot. Being unable to concentrate, so they could be really struggling with work. Losing interest in what they used to love. Less interested in their appearance and their personal hygiene. Changing patterns in their sleeping or appetite. So I do see that a lot. So someone might be saying, look, I'm having a really hard time sleeping at the moment, or I just don't feel hungry. So what's going on in their life? So they could have had a traumatic incident, change in their work circumstances. It may be that they have been made redundant or even starting a new job. Change in their living arrangements. They may have moved cities, conflict at home or work. They could have said that they're having some relationship problems. Major health issues or injury, financial difficulties, the loss of someone that they care about, major life events like infertility. So we've identified that someone in our support group is showing some signs of distress. So we need to prepare now for having a conversation with them. So the next slide, getting ready to have a conversation. Be ready, be prepared, pick your moment. So it's important that you're ready to have the conversation. That is that the time is right for you and it's got to be right for them too. So there are 3 simple steps to think about. So being ready, check in with yourself first. Are you in a good headspace for this conversation? Do you have time to listen if something comes up in the conversation? Be prepared. So be prepared for strong emotions that may come up. For example, tears, anxiety, or even dark thoughts. And think about how you might respond to them. Remember that listening is the most important thing. You do not have to have all the answers. Pick your moment. So are you able to talk privately to that person? If the timing isn't right, you could contact them later or find a better time. So you have determined that there are some things that worry you and that you're prepared to have the conversation. Here are some 4 simple steps in having the conversation. First one, are you okay? So you might just ask, I've noticed that you're much quieter than you usually are in the coffee groups lately. Are you okay? Or you could say, I know that your recent cycle of IVF was unsuccessful. How are you doing? The second one, listen with an open mind. So listen carefully to the response and respond empathetically. So you might say, that sounds tough. How are you managing it? Please don't be tempted to say you know what it's like, or even if you've been there. Everyone is different, so all their experiences are different. Encourage action. How can I help you right now? Have you thought about contacting the clinic counsellors to make an appointment? It may be helpful to speak to a professional about some strategies to cope. I can help you make the call if you'd like. You know, so you're encouraging them to do something. The fourth, check in. So I would like to, so at the end of that conversation, you might say, I would like to check in with you in a couple of days to see how you got on. Would that be okay for you? So now we've got a little video. So hopefully, Kate, excellent. We're just going to have a little look at this, and it's just a wee role play. And I thought the work, someone that's struggling, with their work, an issue at work. That's it.
It's good to get out of the office.
Yeah, it's been a bit busy lately, hasn't it?
You're telling me.
I wonder if I should ask Dan how he's doing. He's been acting a bit different lately. He's probably fine. I don't know.
Are you clicking this, Kate, or do you want me to? You got it? Yes.
I'm in the right headspace, ready to listen. And I should ask, how are you managing all the extra work stuff?
Fine.
He doesn't seem fine. If he doesn't want to talk about it, that's okay, but maybe I should ask again so he knows I genuinely care. I know that I've been having a bit of trouble, but you're more affected by the changes. You sure you're okay? Maybe he's worried I'll speak to the boss or HR. I should let him know I won't. I'm asking as a friend, not as a colleague. This is between you and me.
I'm struggling, to be honest. It's a lot of work, and I barely finish one task, and I'm given another. It's like they think I'm working and I'm getting things done, that they can just keep giving me stuff, but there's a limit to how much I can do.
Okay, good. He's talking. He trusts me. What should I do now? You can talk to me.
I used to love coming to work, but since my new manager came in, it's been harder to get up in the morning. I'm not excited for the day anymore. But I'm afraid if I worked harder, then I'd burn out. And if I don't, I could lose my job. I don't want to lose my job. Then what?
Sounds like he's dealing with a lot. Have you spoken to anyone?
Apart from you, no.
Is there another manager you could chat to? I know our manager is new, but you've been here a while. There might be someone else you could get some advice from.
Maybe. But I'm scared. If I speak up about it, they'll think I can't do my job.
I see what he means. What can I do to help? I'm always here for you, Dan, if you need to talk. I find it's good to get out for fresh air or a change of scenery when I need to think about things. Maybe we could do this again tomorrow and chat some more.
That would be nice.
Thanks, Kate. That's great. Right, so the next slide. Yeah, that's great. So just some simple tips around having a conversation. So deal with the emotions first. So you can discuss the issues more rationally once the emotions have been addressed. Being a good listener. So that's one of the best things you can do for someone when they're feeling distressed. Remember that you don't have to have all the answers. Manage your own emotions first by staying calm. If they begin to cry, sit quietly. Allow them to cry. It's not your job to make them feel better. Use lots of empathetic phrases. I understand. This must be tough for you right now. If someone's angry, be patient. Listen to them. Talk about what the things that are adding to their frustration. If someone's anxious, stay calm. Take some deep breaths yourself. So we're going to move on to talk about some more high-risk situations. So fertility treatment is, as we've talked about, hard on people. Sometimes it can lead to people feeling suicidal. They may tell you this in response to the "Are you okay?" question. So you may get a sense that they're feeling suicidal, but they haven't actually said it. In this situation, don't be afraid to ask if they're feeling suicidal. Asking them is not going to cause them to be suicidal and could mean that they have a chance to open up and get some help. If they have a specific plan around suicide, then they will need to get some help right away. If you're worried about someone's immediate safety, then don't leave them alone. You could ask for a family member to be with them. Tell them that you need to seek some professional help to do this and do this. This is one of the situations where you can break confidentiality by telling the GP, health professional, counsellor, their family member that they need support if they're not willing to do this. So the next slide, Kate, support options for people in high-risk situations. Whoops, go back. We might support options. Calling the GP, that's it. So calling the GP together, telling them that this is a crisis and that they do need an urgent appointment. Tell them they will be able to assess. The GP can actually assess the situation and refer them to mental health services. Taking them to the emergency department if the GP's not an option. contacting a close family member or a friend to be with them until they can get some help. If it's after hours and if it's an emergency, you can call the mental health crisis team in your area. You can actually call 111 if it is an emergency and you're worried that they're at danger to themselves or to others. Once the situation is handed over to a professional, make sure that you can get some support yourself. So Fertility New Zealand have made provisions for some debriefing and support from a counsellor in that situation. So the next. So there are several things that we can do each day to improve our mental health. I'll often use this simple formula with clients as it's easy for people to remember, particularly if they are struggling with their mental health. So I suggest they do ACE activities, one of these each day. So A stands for achieve. So doing one thing each day that they can achieve helps improve a sense of satisfaction, can boost people's mood. So people often will lose motivation when they're feeling down, and they can get into quite a rut of not getting up on time, not going off for a daily walk, neglecting their self-care. So just help them choose one simple thing each day that they want to achieve, and they will feel better for that. C, connect. Having positive social interactions makes us feel happy, connected, secure, and it improves our sense of belonging. When people become depressed, they will often isolate themselves from others. I will encourage people to have a coffee with a close friend, answer the phone instead of leaving it, having a walk with their dog, connecting with nature by taking a bushwalk. I do encourage people, though, to be selective about who they choose to connect with. If they're feeling fragile and their best friend is not the best listener, then they may choose a work colleague who's been supportive to them in the past. E, enjoy. It can be difficult for people to find the joy in activities that once brought them joy when they're struggling with their mental health. Ask them what they used to like doing and when the last time was that they did it. I usually find that people are quite surprised and had forgotten what made them feel good. It could be playing some music, their favourite song, playing a game, going for a bike ride, cooking something different. Okay, so that completes I haven't done a lovely summary. That completes my presentation.